Welcome to our story time with Nana and Isaiah. This is my grandson, Isaiah, and he loves to read as much as I love to read. So we are going to do two stories for you. He is going to read. What are you reading today?
I'm reading Cars.
He's reading Cars, and I'm going to read The Wonky Donkey. So I'm going to let him read first, and then I will read my book. Take it away, Isaiah.
Okay. It was the final race of the season, and Lightning McQueen was in the lead. If he crossed the finish line first, he would win the Piston Cup. But on the final turn, his tire blew out. Lightning dragged himself forward. It was a three-way tie with King and Chick Hicks. The judges decided to hold a tiebreaker race in California in 1 week. Lightning drove into his trailer and set off with his driver, Mac. Hours later, a wary Mac started to doze off. Suddenly, the trailer door opened. A sleeping Lightning slipped down the ramp of the trailer. Joint awake, Lightning looked everywhere for his driver. Suddenly, he heard a siren blaring and saw flashing red lights. A sheriff cruising was after him. Lightning swerved. He crashed through a fence and tore up the road before getting tangled in some wires. Sheriff rolled up. "You're in a heap of trouble," he said. The next morning, Mater the tow truck brought Lightning to traffic court. The judge was an old car named Doc. When he found out that Lightning was a race car, he told him to get out of town. But a car named Sally disagreed. She wanted Lightning to fix the road he had ruined. Doc hesitantly agreed. Doc ordered Lightning to fix the road, but Lightning refused. Doc challenged him to a race. "If you win, you go. If I win, you do the road my way." Lightning agreed. He was sure he could beat the old car, but on a sharp left turn, Lightning lost control. He skipped off the road and plunged into a cactus patch. Later that night, Lightning scraped the asphalt off the road. When the rest of the cars awoke the next morning, they saw Mater driving in circles on a selection of perfect smooth road. Doc found Lightning at the site of their race. He was practicing his turns, but he kept losing control. "This is dirt," Doc said. "You have to turn left to go right." That night, Mater took Lightning tractor tipping. Mater snuck up on a sleeping tractor and honked. The startled tractor woke up and fell over. When it was Lightning's turn, he revved his engine so loudly that all the tractors cleared over at one time. Mater and Lightning could not stop laughing. It had been a long time since Lightning had enjoyed himself that much. The next morning, while Lightning waited for his daily gas ration, he wandered into Doc's shop. Suddenly he noticed something on a shelf, a piston cup. Then he saw two more. Lightning couldn't believe it. Doc Hudson was the Hudson Hornet, a racing legend. "Let's go for a drive," Sally suggested. That afternoon, looking out over the Radiator Springs, Sally explained that it had been once a busy town, but no one has visited since the interstate had been built. Now everyone just went around it all the way to somewhere else. Oh, here's the picture. Later that day, as Lightning worked on the street, he saw Doc roaring around the dirt racetracks. Lightning followed Doc to his office. "How could you quit at the top of your game?" he asked. Doc showed Lightning a newspaper article about a wreck he had been in. By the time he was fixed, the world had forgotten about him. There's the newspaper that talks about he has quit. I'm going to try to show you it. The next morning, the road was finished. Although Lightning was free to go, he wasn't quite ready. First, he stopped by each store. He filled up on Fillmore's original fuel, tried out night vision goggles at Sarge's surplus hut, picked out a plumber's sticker at Lizzie's cruise shop, brought new tiles from Guido and Luigi, and got a new paint job at Raymond's House of Body Art. Finally, it was time for Lightning to go. Lightning made his way to California for the big race, but as the race started, Lightning couldn't concentrate. He kept remembering his friends in Radiator Springs. Somehow winning no longer seemed that important. Just then Doc's voice came over the radio. "I didn't come all this way to see you quit." Lightning looked at his pit and saw all of his Radiator Springs friends. Doc was sitting on the crew chief platform. Lightning revved his engine and got back into the race. Lightning tore around the track. He had fallen behind, but he knew he could catch up. His opponent, Chick Hicks, tried to stop him with some dirty tricks, but Lightning remembered that his friends had taught him. He drove backwards. He turned left to go right, and he blew a tire. And when he blew a tire, Guido performed the fastest tire change in history. Finally, Lightning took the lead. Chick Hicks and the King were fighting for second place. "I'm not coming behind you again," Chick shouted, remaining the king. The race car hit a wall and flipped When Lightning saw the king's crumpled body, he remembered Doc's final crash. The king had decided this would be his last race. Lightning couldn't let it end this way. He screeched to a stop of to a stop, inches from the finish line. This is him crashing in the mud. As Chicks crossed the finish line, Lightning drove over to the king. "What are you doing, kid?" Doc asked through the headset. "I think the king should finish his last race." Lightning answered as he pushed the king over the finish line. The crowd erupted in cheer. Chicks might have won the Piston Cup, but Lightning was the hero of the race. Tex, the owner of the Dynaco Oil Company, approached Lightning. "How would you like to be the new face of Dynaco?" he asked. Lightning politely refused. He was loyal to his original sponsor, Rust Ease, but he asked Tex for one favor. Suit Lightning returned to Radiator Springs. He found Sally at the Old Wheel Well Motel. "I thought I'd stop by and stay a while," he told her. Just then they heard someone wittily yelling, "Woohoo!" It was Mayor. Thanks to Lightning, he was fulfilling his dream of taking a helicopter ride. Sally smiled. Then she turned and sped off down the mountain, with Lightning close behind. It looked as if Lightning had found his new home. The end.
Good job, Isaiah. Great job. Great job. Okay, now, excuse me. I am going to be reading for you The Wonky Donkey. Words and music by Craig Smith. Illustration by Cat Prowler. The Wonky Donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw. And he only had 3 legs. He was a wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw. He only had 3 legs and 1 eye. He was a winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw. He had 3 legs, 1 eye, and he liked to listen to country music. Yeehaw! Ha! He was a honky tonky winky wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Oh, he had three legs, one eye. He liked to listen to country music and he was quite tall and slim. He was a lanky, honky, tonky, winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Aw, he had only three legs, one eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim, and he smelled really, really bad. He was a stinky, dinky, lanky, honky, tonky, winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road, and I saw a donkey. Aw, he had three legs, one eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim, and he smelled really, really bad. And that morning, he had gotten up early and had not had any coffee. He was a cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, hunky, tonky, winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Aw, he only had three legs, one eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelled really, really bad. That morning, he'd not gotten up early and hadn't had any coffee, and he was always getting up to mischief. He was a hanky panky, cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky, tonky, winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Aw, he only had three legs, one eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelled really, really bad. That morning, he'd gotten up early and hadn't had any coffee. He was always getting up to mischief, but he was quite good looking. He was a spunky, hanky, panky, cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky, tonky, winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Aw, and that's the end of the Wonky Donkey. Now, this book I really love. It is so cute. Thank you all for reading with us today. We will be back again soon to read with you again.